Legends speak of a place lost in time, a hidden kingdom paved in purest gold. El Dorado, the city of gold. It was a fever dream in the hearts of European explorers, a beacon of insatiable greed in the 16th and 17th centuries. They risked everything, crossed treacherous oceans, battled disease and hostile tribes, all for a city that may never have existed. But was El Dorado truly a myth, or was there a glimmer of truth behind those shimmering tales? El Dorado wasn't just some shiny treasure chest. It represented an escape hatch. Imagine the grime and misery of life in Europe then. Disease, poverty, rigid class systems. For a common soldier or even a desperate nobleman, El Dorado was a ticket to a whole new life. Instant riches, a chance to rise above your birth to be somebody. And for monarchs, El Dorado was an answer to their endless problems. That kind of wealth could buy massive armies, fund cathedrals, crush your rivals. No wonder they poured money into these expeditions, sending their best and brightest, or sometimes their worst and greediest, across the ocean. Remember, these were the guys who'd already seen the unimaginable riches of the Aztec and Inca empires. If those existed, why not another even richer one, hidden deep in the vast unexplored heart of South America? Their imaginations were set ablaze. Greed is a powerful motivator, but so is desperation. El Dorado played on both. The stories of El Dorado start with the Muisca, a people who thrived in the highlands of what's now Colombia. Their use of gold wasn't about currency like in Europe, but about the spiritual, about connection to their gods and their land. Their tradition was spectacular. A new king, covered in gold dust from head to toe, would wash it off in Lake Guatavita as a powerful offering. Smaller offerings of gold, emeralds, and other precious objects accompanied this ritual sacrifice. Let's unpack this. These ceremonies did happen. Spanish explorers, arriving fueled by their own cultural biases, heard tales of this ritual. Gilded Man in their minds morphed into City of Gold, the stories getting grander with each retelling. They saw gold as currency, as raw power, and couldn't fathom any civilization valuing it differently. The El Dorado myth became the perfect excuse. It painted a picture of primitive natives ripe for civilizing, their resources ripe for the taking. Think about it, those expeditions slashing through jungles, facing hostile tribes and diseases. They weren't just driven by greed. They'd bought into the idea that those sacrifices deserved the golden reward, that only they were worthy of El Dorado's riches. The search for El Dorado devastated the Muisca and countless other indigenous groups in South America. The violence, the forced conversions, the disruption of their entire way of life. It's a dark legacy masked by those fantastical stories about a city built on gold. That's the thing about myths. They can be twisted, exploited, used as weapons as readily as any sword. There's no single aha moment where someone witnessed the ceremony firsthand. It was a gradual process of corrupted information and wishful thinking. The Spanish conquistadors, driven by their obsession with gold, eagerly collected stories from captured natives or those they traded with. These stories weren't always accurate language barriers. Cultural misunderstandings and deliberate exaggerations were in play. They'd hear a tale about a leader using gold in an important way, and their minds would jump to treasure hoards and entire cities. A key figure in codifying the El Dorado tale was Juan de Castellanos, a Spanish priest and chronicler. It's in his 1570s work, Elegias de Varones Ilustres de Indias, that we find a detailed and very likely embellished description of the Golden Man ceremony. Since he arrived in South America after the initial conquests, it's likely he gathered this info from previous explorers' reports and probably spiced it up for dramatic effect. Gonzalo Jimenez de Quesada, a key conquistador, led the exploration of the Colombian highlands where the Muisca were located. He undoubtedly encountered signs of their gold-working skills and heard the natives' stories about their traditions. Those stories fed directly into the fire of El Dorado. Important note, even if a lone explorer glimpsed a smaller version of the Golden Man ceremony, it wouldn't match the exaggerated scale of the El Dorado myth. Gold was important to the Muisca, but likely not in the pave your streets with it way the Europeans fantasized about. No grand city of gold was ever found, but the search for El Dorado left its mark. It shaped history, fueled empires, and devastated native cultures. So did it exist? In a way, yes. Maybe not as a physical city, but as an idea. An idea potent enough to make men cross continents and risk their lives. And one that still captures our imaginations today. Think about it. Don't we all chase our own versions of El Dorado? Whether it's wealth, fame, or something else? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations of lost cities and hidden mysteries.